everybody, welcome back. This is Angela back with another reading on Halloween, or I prefer to celebrate Samhain, the pagan festival. So this is when the veils are very, very thin between this world and the next, the spirit world and our world. Again, whatever you believe in and whatever you trust for you is very much welcomed here. I'm a big believer that variety is actually the spice of life. So I've got my little setup here. It's all spooky. I've got all my lovely essential oil candles, organic candles, and my crystals. And I went out and I was just foraging for leaves, and I found some beautiful eucalyptus, which is very cleansing. And it's really interesting actually, because as I was just setting up my table, there's just a few things like spirit were already here. They always really make me laugh. I've also got calendula flowers or leaves as well. And there's some theme around November. So this reading, of course, is for November, the energies of November, that those of you that are very energy aware and connected. So this is where you really know yourself. You know who you are. And it's not in an egotistical sense. It's that, you just know yourself. You're at a point in your life where you know what matters, you know what your values are, and you are just very aware. You can sense, you're very connected intuitively. Is this month, I'm hearing there's going to be a big upgrade for many of us. There's going to be a lot of cleansing going on as well. And we have Mars in Gemini, which is retrograding till I think the 12th of January. It went retro at the end of this month, 29th of October, but don't quote me on that. So Mars has been in Gemini for a record number of months this year, but it's going retro. So wherever you have Gemini, that's where you might see that your energy might not be up to full steam. And what Spirit said to me is, don't try to just put the accelerator on and push, because all you're going to do, it's like the analogy that they're showing me is getting in a car and really accelerating, rushing to get somewhere, and it doesn't matter what speed you do it at, you're still going to get there at the same time. But that if you put your foot down and you burn all the fuel, it's going to cost you a fortune. So that's how they're showing it to me. So if you know where Gemini is in your chart, and again, guidance is guidance. It's, for you to take it or to lose it, it's not a problem. But there's something about energy where when it goes retrograde, Mars is the planet of action. It's like, it's sex drive, it's our motivational drive as well. So of course you might not have your natal Mars in Gemini, it might be in another sign, but where normally Mars hits, it will accelerate, it will activate, and it will energize. So because it's going back, it's retrograding, it's pulling back. But what Spirit said to me, it's kind of like a protection mechanism. So that area of your life where Mars is retro is not where you're meant to be pushing. Now, I'll share this with you because it might help. For me, that will be in my 8th house, which is death, rebirth, transformation. And it's also about other people's money and wills and inheritance and things like that. But it's interesting because that's an area that I tend to flourish in. I've got a lot of Scorpio energy, and we're in the Scorpio season, so I love this time of year. But it's like I now need to lay off trying to let go. It's just going to happen. I don't need to push it. So what I would say to you is, Gemini is the sign of the teacher, and it's an air sign. So, and it's funny because as I've started the reading, I've got a headache. I never get headaches, and this is why I asked Spirit, what is it? And I'm going to ask them to take it away now, because I don't need that anymore. And they said they'll give me signs in a way that I'll understand. That's so weird, it's just gone. Honestly, I'm not making this up, guys. But they will show you things, even like with mediums, we get a lot of information physically in our bodies. They'll actually put on a condition so that we can explain it to somebody else, but then we don't. We're actually so connected to whatever that person is showing us that we'll take it on, and then we have to tell spirit to take it off. So what I will say is, in Gemini is all about teaching and learning, quite much on the intellectual level. So what I would say to somebody around this time is, I would say to them, do you really need to do that course? Do you really need to go on and you actually probably know some of this information, and this Mars retrograde period is going to show you this. So it's not a time to push and rush. Spirit is saying, if you need to get things done, of course, this is not like, oh, you just don't run your life. Of course you do. There's a bit of a misnomer about that, and Spirit is saying, look, we're here to help you. Your ancestors were here. This is the most powerful time of the year to connect with them, because it's very symbolic of ritual, of the ancestral rituals that we came in with in our genome. I'm hearing it's actually in our veins, it's in our blood. So it can be an internal time, but it's a very rich internal time to follow through with rituals. Great time to cleanse your divination tools, a great time to speak with the ancestors, a great time to connect with the other side. Also with that, what I would say to you is, I would put protection around you, because the energies for that ritualistic time of the year to prepare for next year, it's very strong. And not everybody uses the energy for good or in the light. So the thing is, when you've got all this light energy, which I know if you're listening to me, you just will be, because you will resonate with this, is that not everybody is, your light is magnetic. So people that need light will be attracted to it. So Spirit just saying to me, you can just zip yourself up every day. And in my last video, I did that protection prayer. Now I know why. It was preemptive of this month's energy. So it's what would I call it now? It's dusk here now. So the sun's set, or is just setting there over the water. So the candles are on. Hopefully you can see me. A gulp of water now, and I'm going to actually ask Spirit, please let me be a divine channel of peace, clarity, communication from all our loved ones, our ancestors, our guides, our archangels, the ascended masters, only those that come in deep unconditional love of the white ray of diamond light, of purity, of intent. And I'm going to ask you, please, to guide me with this reading, to what to ask you, because I'm actually a bit of a blank slate, which is really good. But this is part of the reading, they're saying, because we are getting a lot of clearing around the head, this Gemini energy, the air energy. Now Gemini is the area around the lungs as well, so just watch where you're guided to slow down, and don't fight it. You don't need to, because actually what it's going to bring you is a gift of, for some people it will be joy in slowing down. For some other people it's going to reorganize your life like a filing cabinet. Spirit is saying, just watch what drops off during this time. If you are somebody that's always around and available, and then because you are actually being guided, it's like no choice, you've got to slow down. Your body is really speaking to you. People that always want something from you will just drop away. And the other message I'm getting is that Spirit is saying that many of us this year, a lot of these people that wanted stuff from us, now of course relationships of any kind are transactional on some level. We all have needs, and to be in relationship with other, we do have to meet each other's needs on some level. But what they're saying is, these relationships that were pulling energy, that were wanting things, that were masked, they've just dropped away. And so they're saying there will be a continuation of this for some people, not necessarily us directly, but watch for that around you, people around you going through that. Right, Spirit, so can you offer us some guidance around the overall energies of November. What are the overriding energies that are presenting this month for us, November 2022? They're just saying to me it's preparation for 2023. So those cards came on top of each other. These are my Black Moon astrology cards by Susan Shepherd. I use these a lot. Yeah, so change. So that they're reminding me to, this is the lunar eclipse change card. So they're reminding me to talk about the Taurus full moon on the 8th of November. I know it's 11:01 a.m. in the GMT timing. So what will that be now? So that would be, I don't know if it's going to be, no, it's 10 o'clock. I'll have to check, guys. But that's the GMT timing. And it's wham, bam, in the middle of Taurus. It's at 17 degrees. So depending on where this is in your chart, if you look where Taurus is the ruler of the house, it rules, that's where you're going to have possible change change you're not expecting. This is a full eclipse, not a partial one. It's going to be very powerful. Right, that's that for now. Ninth house, faith. Okay, revolution and increase. Okay, I'm just going to say that, so I'm just going to show you the cards first. I really want you to follow what you get as well. So we've got ninth house, faith, because Spirit's saying this is not going to be a long reading today. It's going to be a getting in and getting out. They really are just guiding us about taking care of ourselves this month. It's really important wherever we are, whether it's the northern or the southern hemisphere. So we've got the part of fortune, which is an Arabic placement we all have in our charts, and it's almost like a lucky placement. It's where we can be lucky in certain areas of our lives. I think mine is actually, so there's sayings for each placement in each sign, and there's a book that I read, I can't remember, but I once saw what mine read, and it was like a woman reading tea leaves. So where I'm lucky in life is when I'm reading for people, which is so funny because I am. And ninth house is about foreign lands and foreign people. So it's interesting to look at your part of fortune increase in your chart, because it will give you an indication of the house that it's in, where part of your role is. It's your Achilles heel of luck. So untapped resources is what I'm hearing Spirit is saying, and also where people don't realize they came in with this. So they came in with it like your archetypal your archetypes that you have. You are actually you came in with this archetype. Solar eclipse and revolution. So this is solar eclipses and new moons. So we've just had a new moon in Scorpio, which was quite powerful. Spirit saying there's going to be a lot of activity that's going to be happening underneath the radar between this new moon we've just had and in this Taurus full moon on the 8th. So the first week of November is pivotal, they're saying. But what they're saying is it's all very energetic. So you might not see it outside. That's going to come later on in the month, they're saying. But what Spirit's saying is just let the energetic upgrades happen in your system. So it's a bit like where things can start happening, where we might have symptoms. And of course, if you've got symptoms, and you know, we never give medical advice on readings, but you know, don't ever, if there's something is wrong with you, don't not go and get checked out. It's really important. You have to find the balance in life, guys. So what I want to say is there's a lot of change coming this month for many people, change that they didn't expect, but there's also a lot of internal shifting. And what Spirit is saying is there's a lot of energetic upgrading. So our energy, our cells receiving more light from Spirit, light codes coming in, soul contracts being activated, but also put in place for next year, I'm hearing. I'm also hearing for some people this ninth house here, because this is long distance travel as well. Well, they're saying it's more expansion, from long distance. So this is not like in your neighbourhood. That would be the third house. This is from afar. So there might be rumblings from afar. It might be that there are business contracts, sourcing products and things from different places. I'm also hearing connections with indigenous cultures is being awakened in many people. What Spirit is showing me is they're showing me a network of light that is opening up for some people that they weren't expecting. I also want to say, because remember, as the veil is very, very thin, it opens up everything. So as the light comes in and we receive this, almost like our sensitivity gets really heightened. Even today, the sensitivity has increased throughout the day, and some people who are not aware of that will be acting quite irrational. And also Spirit is saying what light does is it highlights, it illuminates things. It also illuminates the things that people don't want to see, that they don't want to face. So what it can do is it cannot actually increase escapist behavior in some people, because the light is the truth. So we could be seeing this around us, more escapist behavior. They're saying the Spirit's saying a lot of this is right in front of our eyes, of what we're being fed daily. And what they're saying is our spirit family down here, spirit family up there is the same. That's what they're saying, is that you see the reality, you see the realism of what's going on. So for you, it's been a challenge and it's been difficult waking up to certain things, but they're saying that was always part of the journey. But what's happening is a lot of people are not wanting to face things, and it's causing them more trouble, because the answers that they've been praying for, Spirit is saying, is based upon the truth. And so again, it's why it's a really powerful time at this time of year to do shadow work, because the veils are very thin. So it's almost like, it's like when you get guidance as a medium, it comes through like the speed of light. It's so fast sometimes you actually have to tell Spirit to slow it down, and they'll like, it's a two-way street, guys. It's a two-way communication. It's not them just telling us, it's they work with us. There's a great respect that goes on, and there's a respect for our time and our energy. That's why many people that work in the healing arts that don't respect their time and energy, their work will dry up. Because Spirit are actually trying to highlight and show them something very overtly, to say, well, are you seeing? And actually there's a misnomer that where people go, where is God? And God is this, and all this judgmental God archetypal stuff. If you ever want to learn about that, just watch Caroline Myce's interpretation of what's going on our earth at the moment, and how she's saying how as a species we're evolving out of certain organized religion, because the God archetype that was sold to many people it's living in somewhere that I don't even want to go into it, but I would say just watch her work. It's so incredible, because she's a modern day mystic, and I feel a lot of her work is very much channeled from above. So there is this ninth house as well, can be about not necessarily religion but philosophy. So there's an opening up here of people waking up to what's real and what's not in these elements and in these fields. People are starting to question, because what they do is they pray to a God that they think is off planet, and they think it's a man, and they think, well, when God doesn't give them what they want, this is how Caroline Myce explains it, well then God is like, this judgmental character. And actually they're missing the whole point, which is that the energy of the God Christ consciousness spirit, and this is why people think we're all cuckoo or spiritualists, but actually when they get with the program, and they're so welcome to the party at any time, is when the penny drops, which is that energy of Christ consciousness is within all of us. And that's why all of these structures and all these kind of agendas are slowly coming apart, because sometimes the only way that a human existence can see is by seeing what doesn't work. So this is where the energy of light and dark is in a dance. And actually you end up thanking the dark, because it always outs itself in the light. It has to. It needs the energy of the light to survive. So this is the thing with any form of spirituality or spiritualism. You will always get to the point on the journey, and this is where a lot of people get stuck, is, to evolve and to move through the next skin layer that is being called to be thrown off, which is this, this part of fortune. If we think it's like your life is actually going to expand, but the revolutionary part is that you have to question some of these beliefs, the beliefs inside you, but also of what we were told how things are meant to be. Like even recently, Spirit was saying to me about the whole historical story, and they were saying, well, it happened, we have to look to history to see how things evolve and how things will become. And I understand that, and I respect that saying, but I also am really questioning, because I never liked history at school. I loved geography. I thought learning about people and where they came from, and anthropology, like, well, why does somebody do the way they do? What it helped me to understand was to have some compassion for people, but also it opened up my mind, it opened up all my expanses. Whereas history for me, I felt like, well, why am I going over this stuff again? It's all been done. And what Spirit is saying is the secret to our changing and evolvement is actually not to repeat what we've done before. So this is a very philosophical reading, but this is Scorpio. Scorpio time is not going to be small talk. It's going to look at the deeper mysteries of life. So there could be an area around this, in this energy, where in this Scorpio time, you're being guided as part of your esoteric path to delve into these subjects and these topics. And actually, it's really incredible because it's so enlightening. It enlightens your mind to learn something new biologically, and your physiology improves when you fire up those neurons. So it's like what Spirit's saying, it's a win-win situation for all of us. Right, so I'm going to ask them now so they're saying that's more like the 5D. So I'm going to ask them on the 3D. So the 5D is sometimes what we can't see really unless we're tuned in. So the 3D is the dreams card. That's so funny. This is what Spirit's saying. That's the 5D. It's like with our spirit animals, it's with our knowings, it's our esoteric, it's also our understanding of the greater meaning of life. If I had to sum it up, which I mean you can't really, but that's the attempt. So I'm going to pull now the Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor, and also I'm going to pull the Inanna. It's not Inanna. What's she called? Ina Sigal. I always want to. Why do I say Inanna? That's the planet. That's Venus, isn't it? The archetype of Venus. There's some message here about Inanna. So Inanna went in, didn't she? She went into the shadow world, and there's a link there with Lilith. I need to look at that maybe for another video, because they're talking about that to me. What they're saying is it's how she was able to expand and bring more light in, where she could face the dark aspects. And actually when we face the dark aspects in ourselves, we're more likely to be able to face the dark aspects of life, but we don't absorb them. We observe them, we don't absorb them, is what Spirit is saying. Right, so on the ground kind of stuff, what are we going to say They're bringing me over to America now on politics. Is anything going over? I don't have a clue about American politics because I don't have a TV, guys, and I very rarely watch the news, and we get nothing on America until after it's happened. There's something coming up major in America this month in November. I don't know whether have they got like smaller elections going on, but they're going to say that there's another big scandal on the horizon. I'm getting this more towards the middle of the month. Right, okay, so what else please for November, please, Spirit? Let's pull all the cards together. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look what we've got. Have faith again. Wow. So if anybody's been feeling slightly like, oh, I'm just going to sack it all off, which actually is good because it's surrender. They're saying don't quit. Like the have faith card has come out. So you've got 9th house faith. So if you've been wondering, or like you've been in that philosophical place in your head about you don't know how to do something, you're going to get some answers this month because the discover your life purpose has come out. So there's something to do with purpose for many people. Again, I think this is new soul contracts being ignited. What Spirit is saying is sometimes people don't take the rest, and they're saying that we're trying to bring down the messages and we're trying to give them the signs and actually the symptoms in their body, but they don't listen, and they push and they push and they push, and then it leads to burnout. And they're saying, I mean, of course, I'm not a doctor, guys, but hormonal discrepancies, which would make sense with all the fight and flight, nervous system burnout. And they're saying that, yeah, this is so weird, pay attention to the signs at the bottom of the pack. So what they're saying is, if you are guided to take rest at the moment, please do. You will be provided for. It's just sometimes we can't see the way it's going to happen. Now I know somebody might be screaming at the screen at me saying, oh Angela, you know, I've got to pay for, and I understand that, especially if you've got children. I always don't want to love and light stuff. I'm not into that, and I've been there myself, so I would never ever disregard somebody's reality. But what Spirit is saying to me, if you say that to yourself, is that, well, you know, if we push and push and push, then it affects our health. And then if we don't have our health and we don't work, it's not the solution to a bigger problem, they're saying. But they're saying that often people that will work and work and push and push and push like that, and there's no criticism, by the way, with me, there's never any judgment. We're all learning. We're all on this path at different places and on different races, they're saying, you know, different lanes. And so we're all, but this is why Spirit will often talk to us quite with analogies and metaphors, because it's much more inclusive to everybody's journey. Is they're saying people that often will work like that are often prone to not asking for help, even from us. And the element that's missing is the trust aspects, because there's a fear of letting go, because if I let go and I do what I know I'm being guided to do, and then the help doesn't come in, then I will be in worst case scenario. And Spirit is saying often that happens because we're being pushed and we're pushed and we're being pushed to try to teach us not to live in that survival mode. And this is a massive journey from 3D life into 5D. So when you really go through your awakening and your ascension path, you will actually be, you'll be given this as one of your subject learnings. Spirit is saying it will come up at some point in your path. This is why, you know, like you see these people who are like multi-millionaires and they lose everything and then they get back on the horse, so to speak, and then they make it again but double. That is again a typical example of it. It's all about energy flowing, energy moving. So I've already done these cards now. So it's like, have faith. There is a sign coming from above, okay? It's about having faith in something greater than you at times. This will be for some people it will be about their purpose and what they're here to do. And it's important not to let pride get in the way. Like, you know, I know how to do it. Look, if we welcome in our guides and our spirit helpers, it's really incredible. Like, I cannot tell you the amount of guidance that I get for clients about their business ideas. They're very creative spirit to work with. They'll actually, like, I've seen it where they've explained to somebody how their energy system works, and how their energy works when they are working on a healing process of somebody. Sometimes they'll break it down. And sometimes I will actually describe to them some of the tools that they use that work really well with their energy. It's a bit like, you know, like if I eat cheese and my body just doesn't like it for whatever reason, but then I can eat bread, and then the next person will be different. It's a bit like that. We have things that we naturally affiliate, like we resonate with, from colours to crystals to plant medicine to food medicine, to holistic medicine, to just all sorts. It's really quite magical. So that's a message there for somebody about that with purpose. You know, don't let your pride get in the way. Have you actually asked Spirit, like, can you show me the way? Even if you don't know how to ask. I've actually had people ask me, well, I don't know what to do. We'll ask them, well, how do I do that? I mean, it's a brilliant question, because some people might mock that, but I never do, because what if you've come from a family where nobody asked for any help? What you were modelled was just get on and do it, shut up and don't complain. You're going to be programmed to never know how to ask for things. So I always say to people that don't know how to ask, Spirit, please come and show me the way, illuminate the way, give me signs and you know, knowings that are so clear that I won't doubt them. And actually, if you ask somebody later on, they will often they've already got to where they want to be, and they've forgotten about it because the signs were so obvious, they were just doing it anyway. Right, guys, so anything else, guys, boots on the ground, that you want to talk to us about for November? Just going to check on the time here. Right, perfect. For November, any messages for November for all of us? Yeah. First chakra, Archangel Michael. This is about security, feeling secure. Again, there's a lot of stuff coming up for people around finances, but I'm not surprised about this with winter in the northern hemisphere. I know, but you know, again, the southern hemisphere, when it's warm, you need to have your electricity on for your fans and your AC. I've got to say, it's a repeated message again. It's about, you know, first chakra is feeling safe and secure within oneself. They're saying the answers are going to come in this month if we slow down. So the answers to our prayers around how am I going to provide, how am I going to solve this, what Spirit's saying is we're going to have to be quite creative. And actually, what I think that a lot has happened is it's starting to make people appreciate what we've had. But I also want to say around here, for some people, this Angel of Balance has come out. So I'm just going to show you the cards. First chakra, Archangel Michael, blossoming abundance. So again, when you're really connected to Spirit, you will know you will always be provided for. And it's not magical thinking, guys. This actually happens, the thinking woman. A medium was telling me the other week that when her kids were small and her husband, and she was telling us she was in a marriage that wasn't happy at all. He was very violent towards her. It was horrendous. But the times that she was in, she felt she couldn't leave. The support wasn't there. I mean, it's terrible, bless her. And she didn't have, husband had lost his job, so Spirit provided her with, I think somebody came for a reading and they put all this money in an envelope and said to her, like, I know you need this money. It was just so weird how it happened. And she said that they had enough money until, I think it was 9 months later, her husband ended up getting another job, and it was this is like somebody in their late 70s now, early 80s, and it was quite unusual for women to go out to work. And I don't even know, the welfare state, it was nothing like it was today. In those days, they got absolutely nothing. And she got enough readings to pay for them to have food, pay the bills until he got a job. And then it was interesting, she had somebody came to her for a reading, and the woman paid, and it was like her last whatever amount of money she had, and it really helped her. And she obviously, spirit came through, and they shared in the reading about this lady and bringing her some support and love. And this medium put the money that she paid, and she went round, she got her son to go round on his bike, and she said, go and take that to such and such, and she said, I don't want the money back, just do it for somebody else when they need it. And I just thought, God, this is so good, the amount of times like I've seen this happen. I've done it in my own life, I've had it done for me, but again, like she had young children, she was in a very difficult situation, she got what she needed. So I do feel like a lot of things are going to come through. Studying, learning, there's a new learning path coming up around money, how to save, how to be more in tune with money. I feel like some people are really going to start learning the old esoteric methods I'm hearing around this, reading esoteric text on abundance and what it actually means. And when you do, you actually learn the world that we live in, how it's been so hijacked, the monetary system and how it works, and it's just utter ridiculousness. Anyway, whatever. But what I want to say also here is the angel of balance has come up, and this is going to come with a bit of a clearing around these two energies out of your life. So anyone envious and anybody wearing a false mask, so deceitful. And I also want to add on there jealousy. So what Scorpio, the energy of Scorpio is, and if you are a Scorpio, you will understand this, is you are very prone to people projecting their stuff onto you, because you're like this transmutator of energy. So Scorpios can be quite private and very quiet when you meet them. They won't let on what they think. Very much like stealth energy. And what happens is people can almost pick that up as being very suspicious or like not very warm. But actually, if you do have somebody scorpionic in your life, don't ever misinterpret that as a lack of love. What it is they're very loyal and very committed. They just want to make sure the person is who they say they are. Because Scorpio energy knows that if they're not, in a matter of time, I've got to say, it's taken me a while to learn this, and I'm in my late 40s now. But like, I would always get a feeling about somebody, and this is not a negative thing, guys, by the way, and it's not subjective, like I'm pointing a finger at somebody in a bad way, because we've all got issues. None of us are issue free. But you know when somebody isn't necessarily on the same page, or they don't always want the best for you. And what I've learned now is I've really learned to listen to that, because even what's happened is as I've got older, it's shorter and shorter and shorter the time where this shows up. But that's because I welcome the energy now. I don't repress it, and I don't resist it. So I'm just, and this is, again, guys, this is not fair to make anybody, you don't need to worry about this stuff like this. This is just protection working itself. So these energies are going to come up this month, and they're going to come up for a lot of clearing, deceit and envy. So, and I also want to say, if you've got an idea around your life purpose, or you're getting some really good ideas that are filtering through from spirit, just don't tell anybody. Keep it private for now. Now, obviously, if you've got to go and do some research, and you go into your local library, or you need to see, get legal advice or business advice, then of course that's different. But I would just keep it, let it brew in the cauldron. This is what they're saying to me around this time. Let it brew in the cauldron, because what I'm hearing is that some people are going to receive they're going to be feeding down some business ideas and purpose ideas, and what am I going to do? Say like, well, how am I meant to work with my healing energies? And what Spirit is saying is that it's getting more and more creative now. People are really blending different modalities, and they're making it their own, and they're saying it's a joy to see, because This is what we need down here on the earth, is we need that energy to spread in a way where, and there's going to be more and more people that are going to be seeking this out. So always remember, if you are struggling and you're like, oh, I can't do that, that's not going to work, I can't, remember there's going to be somebody out there that your energy is just going to be just right for you to channel that energy through with spirit, or your healing team, or your angels, or your ancestors, or your plant medicine, or your spirit medicine, or your nature medicine, whatever it is. There will be somebody, there's going to be always going to be somebody that's going to really, really benefit. So, and that's where you start just with one person, and then one person moves on to another, onto another, onto another. But there's a reason why these energies are being cleared out as well for some of you that are really preparing for some massive growth on your purpose path. Is that, we can't take everybody with us. People have got to go off and, as we say, hit their own rock bottom to wonder, well, why is it that they're carrying these energies and they're not dealing with it? Because the shadow side is really going to show up in Scorpio time. It does. It's 8th house. It's where we go to do our shadow work. It's where we let what needs to die in order to transform. So yeah, that's really coming through strongly there. I'm also getting something around, I don't know what this means, guys, but I'm just seeing this, like the meridians in the body. I'm just seeing like this for many of us who are very activated healing wise, that there's, I'm just feeling it in my body now, and it feels a bit achy and a bit like, so what they're saying is just stretch out, lots of water, really great time to receive light in your meditation practice, just sitting there and just working with colour therapy, light therapy, letting it go into your cellular DNA to activate. I don't know why I'm getting this, guys. I'm going to ask them, why are you telling me that, Spirit? Why are you telling me that about the meridian lines? They're just saying it's clearing again. Yeah, it's building up our strength. So, more light for what's to come. And actually, they're saying it will all help immunity. For some people, there's romance coming in as well. Healing hearts break. And also, I want to say, for some reason, that this light meditation they're giving me is going to help somebody who's got an old, ancient, broken heart. They had a heartbreak very, very young. So whether you've lost a parent young, I'm seeing somebody losing their dad young, and that heartbreak was never really held. Like, I almost like whoever this is for, because obviously it won't be for everybody, but sometimes I get, it's not even random, I don't want to call it that, but I'll get a message for somebody specifically, is that it's okay, like we do this unconsciously sometimes. We put it in a box and a door and we shut it away because it's just too painful to feel. But what Spirit is saying is, it's actually going to heal somebody's anxiety. I mean, again, guys, I'm not a doctor. I know I don't need to say this to you on here, but you do understand why I'm saying it. But it's like they've got this constant anxious feeling, and it's really old, buried trauma. And what Spirit is saying again, it doesn't have to take forever. It's like your heart just wants to be held. It's like tears just want to be shed. Because what it's going to do is it's going to trigger your parasympathetic nervous system, they're saying. And when it does that, it releases, it has a bit of it has a release. It's like everything's firing up, and it's almost like it's firing up just to keep the door shut. To keep the door shut, I need to use all this energy just to keep it. When Spirit's saying, no, it's time to feel. my child, it's time to feel. It's time to just, what it is somebody's got a fear that once the floodgates open that they won't stop crying. But what Spirit is saying is you're strong enough to do this. The angel of strength is here. So that's going to be for somebody there. Anything else about these meridians? And if I just feel like the electrical wiring in our systems getting an upgrade. Heart DNA, what's that? Heart math, attunement. It's getting an upgrade. Attachments and adjacent possibilities. What's this about now? Is this something different, Spirit? Attachment and adjacent possibilities. 6th chakra. Okay. Rest and rejuvenation. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you so much. They're so funny, bless them. They're like, now you've got it. Right. Okay. So this, for some people, where there's been heartache. Okay. Now this is going to manifest so differently. I think a lot of you that are listening to this, it's only going to be for a few of you that have this still there. I think you're going to see this from someone around you, okay, is what I'm getting. That's just the feeling I get. So what they're saying is where there's old heartbreak that hasn't been really acknowledged, it's not been allowed to exit the body as an understanding that you are human and to let go. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be a hot mess for a few weeks if that's what you need to do, and to just tell. And what they're saying, you don't need to tell anybody. Nobody needs to know, only those that you really trust, because they won't judge you. But what they're saying is it's almost like an old attachment, an old hook in the heart. It's like allowing that heart energy to flow and like watching these new opportunities and doorways open up. Because on some front, when we've got energy that we're repressing, it's requiring energy to hold that back. So we don't have all the energy, Spirit is saying, for these beautiful like experiences that we know are inner sight. Is we know that it's what we're going to do. We know it's what we're here to experience. We know it's what we've come here to do. And what Spirit is saying is they want, if you're feeling guided or if this message is relevant for you, is to just take this time to let your heart speak to you, to express itself. And actually what it's going to do is it's going to really release a lot of old ancient energy that maybe has been in there for some time. But what that's going to do is it's going to really free you up. It's like a reset. And then I'm seeing my energy much more restored because the rest and rejuvenation card has come out. And then, like what Spirit is saying is, then get ready. It's like the only way is up, kid, is what I want to say. Right, let's just do a couple of tarot and then I think we're done. I thought it was going to be 45 minutes. I'm on 48. Yeah, 3 of Wands is opportunities coming in. So there's a rest period in November that Spirit is saying that they're guiding us to take. They're guiding us to take it. 4 of Pentacles, yeah, stop holding on. We don't need to hold on because there's a new beginning coming if we can let go of what we know we need to let go of. And for different people it's going to be different things, guys. Is there anything else with the Heal Your Life cards around this new beginning? Letting go. Yeah, entrapment. It just could be old pain. It could be that person did this and they're like this and this is going to happen and this is what's coming next. And it might even be an attachment to, it's holding us back. It's keeping the energy below the surface. It's not the best. It's not freeing up your energy to work for you, is what I want to say. Take off your mask is there. And then we've got the Phoenix Rising, guys, which is the card I'm going to finish this reading on because this is the card of Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio season. And then going into Saggie, watch for a big release of energy for many of you. I know I'm going to be doing this, guys. I've got stuff I know I need to just... What they're just saying is try and do a heart meditation. Put your hand on your heart and just breathe into your heart and just see what comes up. They're saying there's a lot of intelligence in there that we barely tap into. The self-love cards there as well. It's time for self-love, guys. Right, I'm sending you tons and tons of love. I hope it's made some sense for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to do some individual readings for November. This will come up. I'll have this posted on the 1st of November. And then tomorrow I've got a reading to do for a client, and then I'm going to do all the individual astrology readings, and I will slightly cover the eclipse around the houses just to mix things up. And then my next video after that is going to be the narcissism video, and then after that I'm going to do a pick a card reading around what does spirit want to tell me on my spiritual path, on my awakening right now. Is there anything that they want me to know? Because that's what they've guided me to do. So those are the readings, guys, for the next 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to keep me busy for sure. Thank you to those of you that comment. It's really lovely to hear from you. I know some of you might not have ever met me in person, but it's really lovely to connect with you on that heart level. And I do appreciate it. It's lovely to know that the information that Spirit are bringing through is landing somewhere that helps you. Okay, guys, take good care, and I will see you very soon. Lots of love.